Yes, guys. So we'll see about international relations. Fine. So, guys, international relations is also known as geopolitics. Here, we try to argue that geography of a region determines its politics. Fine. Geography of a region determines its politics. What is the meaning of this? You see, let us take Sri Lanka and let us take Nepal. Can I say Nepal is in between India and China? Whereas Sri Lanka is completely independent. Okay. Now, if anything has to go to Nepal, come out of Nepal, are they dependent on India? Yes. Whereas Sri Lanka is not dependent on India. So, Sri Lanka can have independent foreign policy compared to Nepal. Nepal, if it has to import anything, they have to ask India, can I get it? Sri Lanka can do it independently. Geography of a region determines its politics. How important the area is determined by its, geography. Now you see, if I take Africa, Africa like this, I will have Saudi Arabia like this. This part is basically my Suez Canal. From tomorrow, bring Atlas. And this is my Red Sea. If I have to go to Europe, I need to cross Suez Canal. Now, in this area of Africa, we have a country by name Djibouti. A very small country by name Djibouti. It is completely desert. It doesn't have any mineral, no agriculture, nothing is there. But China gave them $100 billion freely to this country so that China can keep its navy here. China can come and stay here. That means, can I say, geography of Djibouti made it important? Yes. So, if Djibouti was not here, China wouldn't have given money to them. Just because Djibouti is here, China is giving them money. The meaning of this, geography of Djibouti plays a very, very important role in politics of that particular area. Now, if a country has oil and natural gas, politics is on the basis of oil and natural gas. If a country has uranium, politics will be on the basis of availability and supply of uranium. That is, geography gives us an idea whether a country is progressing or what will be its policies and how it will think. That's why international relations is mostly around what? Geopolitics. If you understand the geography aspect of it, you will understand what is happening in that particular part. For example, if you take Israel, Israel is like this. And this part is called as Palestine. This part is called West Bank. Sorry. Yeah. This part is called Gaza Strip. This part is called West Bank. And in this area, you have a country called Lebanon. You have a country called Lebanon. Now, in the newspaper today, they have clearly mentioned that in Israel, war is shifting towards north. What is the meaning of war shifting towards north? War is towards Lebanon. And what is happening in Lebanon? In Lebanon, there is a group called Hezbollah. Right? There is a group called Hezbollah. And this group attacks Israel. Israel is attacked by them. And Israel is extremely good in technology. People are extremely good in Israel with technology. You know what they have done? They have tried to blast the what do you call walkie-talkies. 200 walkie-talkies have been blasted across Lebanon. And how did it blast? Everything has lithium battery with it. Okay. Have you heard, if you go in airport and all, they don't allow you to put your mobile phone, anything with battery in the luggage one. You have to carry it with your pockets. You can't carry it in the luggage one, because if you send a code to your mobile phone with lithium battery, that code will operate and it will make the lithium battery to blast. Cyber security issues, right? 200 walkie-talkies blasted, more than 2,000 people are severely injured. Can I say someone sitting in Israel is sending codes and they are creating bomb blasts? So this is what I'm trying to tell you. When you read any topic in news, link it with current affairs and see what is happening in that part, which will help you to understand many other aspects. IR is closely associated with internal security as well. We should be analyzing that together. Fine. So now we have, the first aspect, IR. Second is about what we call as foreign policy. When we talk about foreign policy, right, we normally try to argue, don't lock mouth. When we talk about foreign policy, you should understand that the people who go and represent us outside will be called as diplomats. And these diplomats, when they represent, what they represent is in embassy. Okay. You also have what we call as consulate. Embassy will be there, consulate will be there. For example, if US consulate is in Mumbai, US consulate is in Chennai, US embassy is in Delhi. Okay. Embassy basically means country to country relationship. Fine. Embassy is country to country relationship. Consulate is people to people relationship. Now, if at all you want to get visa, you will go to consulate. India wants to go to US. Modi wants to go to US. It will be embassy. Country to country will be what? Embassy. Consulate is people to people. Let's say tomorrow you go to US, your passport, visa, somewhere you lost. Where will you go? Consulate. They will take care of people. Small countries consulate and embassy will be one and same. It won't be two different aspects. It would be completely same. Like Sri Lanka, India will not have consulate separately, embassy separately. Everything will be under one. As India is huge, you will have consulate also, you will have embassy also. Fine. And remember, embassy, if I open, let us say India opened an embassy in Japan. India opened an embassy in Korea. The meaning of that is I have started diplomatic relations. We use the term what? Diplomatic relations. I am having diplomatic relation with another country. How? By opening an embassy. So if any country opens embassy anywhere, what do we call it as? We have diplomatic relations. And we also use certain diplomacies like constitutional diplomacy. Fine? Constitutional diplomacy. If I try to tell another country, see, you have this problem in your country. You're fighting for this problem. Please change your constitution. Please bring, these changes in your constitution. If I try to help them to solve a problem by framing constitution, then it is called as what? Constitutional diplomacy. Do you understand? If I say, please take care in the country, for example, Sri Lanka is struggling with issues. I will tell Sri Lanka, please divide yourself into different provinces. That will be called as what? Constitutional diplomacy. Fine. Then sometimes with Bangladesh recently, we have something called as Hilsa diplomacy. Hilsa diplomacy. Hilsa is a fish. Okay. And during Durga Puja in Kolkata, most of the people will use this particular fish. And it will be present only in Bangladesh, not anywhere else. And each one will be more than 10 to 20,000 rupees. And normally it is banned. They won't send it to India because if they export to India, there will be shortage in their country. So normally they don't export. But Sheikh Hasina told that only during Durga Puja, as it is a culture in India, we will send Hilsa fish. That is called Hilsa diplomacy. Okay, you have something called as Alfonso mangoes, right? So that we send to Pakistan. Every year we send to Pakistan at a particular time period. That is called mango diplomacy. You use different terminologies. You must be aware it's not something big. That means two countries have agreed to talk with each other. Then, whenever, diplomats of one country talk with diplomat of another country, then it is called as Tier 1 diplomacy. Indian ambassador talking with US ambassador is called as what? Tier 1 diplomacy. NGO of India talking with NGO of another country, that will be called as Tier 2 diplomacy. Fine? NGO of India talking with NGO of Pakistan. That will be called Tier 2 diplomacy. If diplomat plus NGO of one country engages with diplomat and NGO of another country, then it will be called as Tier 1.5 diplomacy. Do you understand? Tier 1 diplomacy, diplomat and diplomat. NGO and NGO is Tier 2 diplomacy. And Tier 1.5 diplomacy is between diplomat and NGO on one side, diplomat and NGO on the other side. I'm just giving you terminologies first. What all will be there in international relations. Then we say 2 plus 2 talks. Within a country, they use the term 2 plus 2. What is the meaning of 2 plus 2? It is foreign minister plus defense minister of India talking with foreign secretary and defense secretary of another country. So, if foreign and defense of one talks with foreign and defense of another one, then it is called as what? 2 plus 2 diplomacy or 2 plus 2 talks. India, US, India, Japan, right? India, Australia, all these areas we have 2 plus 2. Fine, 2 plus 2 talks will be there. Then we normally try to use some terms. Military. Another one is security. Okay. So we say we have military agreements with another country. When I say military agreements, I am purely talking about weapons. I am purely talking about training. Right? I am purely talking about, like, exchange of technology associated with weapons. Right? Then it is called as what? Military agreements. Like India, Russia came together and went for BrahMos missile. That is military. Okay. But when it comes to security, it can be military, right? It can be military. Apart from military, it can be economic relations. It can be with respect to transportation. It can be with respect to terrorism. Right? It can be with respect to cyber. All this comes under what? Security. Security is a broader term. And military is specific term. Why is this important? You see, if I say there is an organization by name Quad, and there is an organization called as AUKUS. Fine. Quad is between India, Japan, US, Australia. 4 countries. AUKUS, Australia, UK, US. Now, Quad is security. AUKUS is military. What is the difference? Both are formed to control China. Okay, both are formed to control China. In AUKUS, what US will do? US will keep its weapons in Australia to attack China. Directly, US will tell, I am keeping my weapons in Australia so that in case I want to attack China, I can. AUKUS. Quad, US asked, India, will you keep my weapons? Let us attack China. India told, no, no. My intention is not to fight against China. My intention is to secure transportation in South China Sea. I just want to go freely in South China Sea. I don't want to have security threat in Arunachal Pradesh. I don't want to have security threat in Ladakh. I am not interested in any other politics. Your issue with China is different. My issue with China is different. Don't keep your weapons with me. So security basically means, it's a broader term. You can escape by telling, I am with him only for this particular reason. Whereas military, if I tell I am military, I am accepting that we are coming together to attack you. For example, you might have heard of NATO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization. That is purely military agreement. What is a military agreement? You attack one among us, we all will come together and attack. So that is what? Military. Right? SARC is what? Except military, everything else we take care. So organizations would vary. Fine, based on this. Second, in the next one, we try to use the term state and nation. We use two terms, state and nation. Okay. Now you see, initially, if we talk about Europe, please understand, international relations is completely Eurocentric, we call it. That means everything is around Europe. Whatever happened in Europe, we try to study. And whatever we study in India and other parts, we call it post-colonial countries, post-colonial studies. Now, when we talk about Europe, in Europe, what happened? German-speaking people came together to establish Germany, right? French-speaking people came together to establish France, right? English-speaking people came together to establish England. You see here, all people who speak same language will have a feeling of oneness. How are you united? On the basis of language. On the basis of language, they came together and they established a country. See here, this is called nation. Nation is a feeling of oneness. On the basis of nation, I have formed the state. It is called nation state. Germany is called nation state. Japan is called nation state. Why? Same language. Korea is called nation state. Right? Vietnam is called nation state. So that is called as nation state. But when it comes to India, is it nation state or is it a state with multiple nations? Can we say within a state we have all languages speaking, all culture, all ethnicity? So in India, what has happened? It is a state with multiple nations. You talk about, like, one of the most important pride of Andhra Pradesh, right? Krishna Devaraya. Fine. Krishna Devaraya is equal pride in Karnataka. Vijayanagara Empire was there in Karnataka also. People of Karnataka also believes, right? He is theirs. Now, the point what I'm trying to tell here is, we never had the concept of nation state. We always thought whatever we control is ours. All people belong to us. We don't try to differentiate. Now, in Europe, nation became state, and that led to wars between the nations, wars between the countries. Germany fought against France. It was easy to unite. Why? People were already divided on the basis of language. Now, when it comes to 1648, in the year 1648, they introduced a concept called, it is Treaty of Westphalia. And in this Treaty of Westphalia, the modern concept of state came into picture. In this modern concept of state, what is important? First most important thing is you should have a territory. When I talk about nation, I am from Karnataka staying in Andhra Pradesh, right? But if someone asks me, Kannadigas are together, I will say, yes, I am together. I don't have the boundary, border. People, Telugu speaking people in Australia, they get united with Telugu speaking people of, India. So when elections occurred recently in Andhra Pradesh, people from across the world, they came, they started voting because their life might not be fitting here. They might not be interested in this, but still they want to see that Andhra Pradesh is growing. Whatever is the intention, if they come from so far to involve, can I say they still believe they are part of this? Someone in Punjab, someone in Canada sitting and being a minister in Canada, he's not thinking about Canadian people. He's thinking that in India, Punjab should be separated. It should become Khalistan. I want to establish a new country called Khalistan. Who is thinking? Someone in Canada who is minister, who is citizen of Canada. He doesn't have anything to do with India. He is thinking about a land of Khalistan. What is the meaning of that? Can I say the feeling of nation, that we are Khalistani people, we are Punjabi people, is there in, Canada? Tamil people have that pride of coming together anywhere in the world. Recently, when floods occurred, many people, Kerala floods, when it occurred, Malayalis across the world, they sent money. That pride is there. So that is called as what? Nation. Nation doesn't have a fixed territory. Nation doesn't have a fixed territory, whereas state will have a fixed territory. Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, if I say it's a border, if you go out of the border, you can't say you are, land is Telangana. So state definitely wants what? Territory. Second important thing, state should have defined population. Now you take the case of Andhra, Telangana itself. Can I say there is a lot of confusion in who is person from Telangana, who is person from Andhra Pradesh, right? When you studied school, where you studied school, all those things matter. Defined population is always important to be called as a population. And remember, if I have my population in any area, then I can claim that region. For example, in United Nations, if I take, in Sri Lanka, the northern and eastern part of Sri Lanka is dominated by Tamils. Let us say tomorrow India will go and capture them and ask the people of Tamils, do you want to be with Sri Lanka or do you want to be with India? And if the people tell, we want to be with India, then this will become part of India. So who is the ultimate one to decide whether they want to be with India or they want to be with one country or another country? It is people. People. Today, in newspaper, you might see that in Jammu Kashmir, 61.13% of people have participated in elections. What is the meaning of that? More than 50% of the people, if they participate in elections, that means they trust in Indian democracy. Majority of the people have accepted they want to be with India. Participation in elections basically means you are accepting Indian constitution, right? That is, India is telling to the world, see, 61% of people of Jammu Kashmir have voted. All India average of, percentage is 62. Jammu Kashmir is 61. That means majority of people like to be with India. That is an indication of support to democracy, support to country, population. See, India tries to check whether people want to be with India or not through elections. If more than 50% of the people participate in elections, we tell they want to be with India. You might have heard Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram, they want to go out of India. And every time when elections happens, 82 to 85% people participate in elections. What is the meaning of that? They want to be with India, right? And then you see, if you take Ukraine, below Ukraine, you have a region called Crimea. In Crimea, 90% of the people are Russian-speaking people. Russian-speaking people. Now, Russia attacked Crimea. Actually, Crimea is part of Ukraine. Fine. Russia attacked Crimea and captured it. Ask the people whether you want to be with us or with, with Ukraine. People said that we want to be with Russia. And this land became part of Russia. I told you with respect to Israel. In this particular part of Israel, you have a region called as Golan Heights. And this Golan Heights was part of Syria. Once upon a time, it was under the control of Syria. Now, during the war, Israel captured it. And now, what happened? Israel sent a lot of Jews to go and settle in the region. Now, Israeli people are 55%, Syrian people are 45%. And recently, they conducted a referendum. 55% people told that we want to be with Israel, and Golan Heights became part of Israel. So can I say I can capture any territory by sending population? Population plays a very, very important role in calling something to be a state. First is what? Territory. Second is what? Population. Third is government. Today, Taliban controls Afghanistan, but world doesn't call it as a government of Afghanistan. Because of this, what happens? We won't call Taliban to any meetings. We don't talk to Taliban. So the point is, government should be recognized by the people. Whom do you call? Why do you call? How do you call? For example, let's take China, Taiwan. Okay, you have China and you have Taiwan. Now, India wants to talk to Taiwan. If I call Taiwan Prime Minister and talk, that means I am recognizing Taiwan Prime Minister. Right? I am not recognizing China. So there will be this dispute everywhere. Who is the government? Who represents government is very, very important. Fourth, recognition by others. Recognition by others. In the year 1971, Bangladesh was formed. Okay, year 1971, Bangladesh was formed from Pakistan. India recognized Bangladesh. United Nations told Bangladesh is not a separate country. Bangladesh is part of Pakistan. So, according to United Nations, Bangladesh was not a country. Only later when United Nations said, fine, today Bangladesh is a country, Bangladesh became part of United Nations. So, for any area to be called as a country, who should recognize? Other countries should recognize. You take the case of Palestine. Okay. India says Palestine is a state. According to India, Palestine is a state. But according to United Nations, Palestine is not a state. So what is the meaning of that? Recognition will make you a state. What are the four things? Territory, population, government, and recognition by others. Fine. You write below. IR, below that you write state and nation. state and nation. Hyphen. Below this, the concept of modern state, was introduced after Treaty of Westphalia. Treaty of Westphalia. According to this, modern state includes a defined territory. Second, population. Third, government. Fourth, recognition by others. Full stop. If any one among these are not there, we cannot consider them as state. Example, Palestine is not a state because it doesn't have proper demarcated territory, and also recognition by others. Next example, Antarctica is not a state because it doesn't has population. Next, paragraph you write. According to Benedict Anderson, nation is a feeling of oneness. Nation is a feeling of oneness, oneness, on the basis of language, religion, culture, ethnicity, and shared history. What is ethnicity? then it is race. We have race also. Ethnic communities, have you heard? What is it? See, when I take only language, right? We are all Dravidians. We are all Dravidians. Within Dravidians, we have different languages, right? Demarcation is there. Culture. South Indian culture is different from North Indian culture, right? On Ganesh Chaturthi, South Indians believe you should not see moon. North Indians see moon and eat. Okay. So culture is different. We celebrate Diwali for different reason. They celebrate Diwali for different reason. We celebrate Dasara for different reason. They celebrate. Culture is also different, right? Now, within Hinduism, culture is different. I'm talking about that. You talk about religion, right? Differences are there. Then what is ethnicity? Ethnicity is a mixture of, like, same race, same religion, same language, same culture. Naga group is an ethnic group. Kukis are ethnic group. They will have what I can clearly demarcate Kukis from Nagas because of their language, because of their culture, because of their tradition. That is called as what? Ethnic group. Ethnic basically means it is combination of these which differentiates one from the other clearly. Many people use the term culture and leave. Ethnic is similar to culture. We use two different terms. So ethnic basically means Garo, Kasi, Jaintia. All the three are in Meghalaya. Garo, Kasi, Jaintia. Garo speaks different language, culture, God, everything is different for Garo. Everything is different for Kasi. Everything is different for Jaintia. Clearly, I can demarcate. That is called as ethnic group. Tribal communities especially, they follow one set of ethnic group. Fine? So, you understand ethnicity. Shared history. How is India together today? The concept of India is because we were all ruled by Britishers. We all have same shared history. That is called shared history. Fine? Now, you write below, nation is not bounded by territory. Nation is not bounded by territory. So people in one state may relate to people of another state on the basis of nation. Example, Muslims across the world unite for Palestine cause. Do you agree? Muslims across the world unite for Palestine cause. CAUSE, cause. Jews across the world, right? Jews across the world unite for Israel. Next example, Indian diaspora will force to have pro-India policies in US. Are you understanding? Indian origin people are pressurizing US people to have pro-India policy. That means, can I say it is nation feeling? They are telling we are Indians, we should help India. Yes, that is called nation. How is one country connected with another country is through diaspora, the feeling of nation that helps people to unite. Fine. Next, you write subheading. Subheading. Nation divides state. Nation divides state in Europe. In Europe, whereas state divides nation in South Asia. This is essay for 125 marks. Okay. Not exact terms, differently. But nation divides state, state divides nation. 125 words essay. See, I just want you to know, apart from your technical subjects like economy, geography, and all, rest all is always important for essay. And how to write an essay is always on the basis of words. Now you have to divide this essay in 3 parts. You have to divide essay in what? 3 parts. What? First part is nation divides states. What is the meaning of that? Second part is what? State divides nation. What is it? Third is your analysis of both. You have to prove for this. You have to prove for this and give your own thing. 125 marks. 10 to 12 pages you have to write. What all we discussed, you have to fill. It's not easy to write philosophical essays. Are you getting the point? Like, content will be less. You have to elaborate. Unnecessarily, you have to write. But how to make it with cases, examples, as many examples as possible. I hope you are aware about the rules in essay. What are the rules in essay? You can't write points. In essay, you can't write points. You can't have subheadings. No flowcharts. No diagrams. Are you getting the point? Don't write in a flowchart. I'll show diagram and explain. Charts I will make. That is not essay. What is essay? What do you understand by essay? Why this concept of essay? Anywhere. School days, anywhere. Why is essay? Language, okay. Narration. Basically, it shows your capacity to narrate something, argue something. You want to argue with me, right? You want to argue on an issue with me. Then write an essay. Give me all your points, right? Essay is always about telling something in detail. I'll give you, there are types of essays like, what is your first experience of public speaking? 100 words, you have, like 100 marks essay you have to write. What? 100 marks. On what? First day of public speaking. What was your experience? What you should do? You should say, I know the day was very important. Like, I was wearing this particular dress. I imagined myself in front of people. And then I saw these things happening. I went in front of mirror and practiced multiple times. When it was a narration, I forgot 2-3 points in rehearsals. Then I came back. You have to go to this depth. Then only, can you imagine writing first experience in 10 pages? You can't bluff. You have to write something. And there should be connectivity. There should be continuity in the story. If that continuity misses, person who is reading will forget what you are writing. You should take him in that particular channel only. However you move, he will move along with you. He should feel, yes, what they're telling makes sense. You can make them smile in between, you can talk anything in between. Like, whenever you read something, have you smiled? Books, when you read, you smile, you laugh. Sometimes we laugh more than watching something. Comments make us laugh more than what is there in the content. Right? So many people see comments more. First, they go to comment section to see what is happening. I'm just trying to tell that is how you bring people. Philosophical essays, you have another type of essays called narration. They say you met a person for the first time. How was your experience? They give you like this. You have to go to the specifics. What we met in a park, fine. The color of the bench was this. It was dawn, or it was dusk. The sun was also soothing, to allow us to meet. You write to these levels. I'm just trying to tell this is how books are. This is how essays come. Philosophical essays, when you write, you are trying to prove your point. You are trying to prove a point to me in a philosophical manner by showing that I am correct. For example, should a state help the poor? Should a state help the poor? Can I say there are people who tell state should not help the poor? There are people who tell state should help. There are people who tell state should see what to help, what not to help. There are different opinions. You should take one opinion among them. You should tell why your opinion is correct compared to others' opinion. And hit everyone and come to conclusion. Essay is more like, let us say, I agree with the point, nation divides state. This is correct. Rather than telling state divides nation. Now I want to tell every counter. Let me say something. Immediately, as soon as I say something, these people will counter me. If we both are talking, if I tell something, you will counter me, and then I will give answer to that. Then you will ask another question. Then I will answer that. Can I say multiple times we keep on arguing? Finally, at one point of time, I will win. Because I, broke all your arguments. If I can write an essay in that form, philosophical essays will get marks. That is where you should, sociology, PSIR and others, you can score more marks only because you know the content. Thinkers, what different thinkers are trying to tell, how they are trying to present. That if you don't get, if you don't argue, if you don't analyze, you can't write essays. So you tell me your first public experience. Can you write flowchart? You will write diagram, how many people are there, how you were standing and all? No, that should not be there. Essay is more about someone is lost in your book, in your story. And connectivity must be there. He should not go back and check, what are you writing? What did I ask? What are you writing? That if you do, it's gone. Essay, you can score very well. But now I want you to think about this. This can be a question as well. What is this? Nation divides state or state divide nation. What is happening in South Asia, you tell? Not asking you to agree with it. In South Asia, what is happening? Is India a nation or state? Is India a nation state? Or is India a nation? Will you say no absolutely? Or is it nation in making? That means, are we trying to say that we are not one? Indians are not one? We are one? If we are one, something should be uniting us. What is it? Constitution. Okay. Let me put this way. How many people really know Constitution? If you have not come to UPSC, you don't know that, Constitution exists. Which one? Shared history. Okay. Huh. But many people today don't know why independence is celebrated. Britishers ruled us. Okay. I'll tell 5 events. Kheda Satyagraha, when did it occur? Year. Tebaga movement. Tebaga movement. Telangana movement. Telangana agitation. When was the first time? '46 to 49. First Telangana agitation started in 1946 to 49. I'm just trying to tell where is shared history. We don't know our history. That to modern history. We just know 47 independence we got because holiday we get. Else we don't know. Tell me, what do you know? I'm just trying to ask you mainly because I want you to argue with me. Essay. You ask something, I'll counter you. Are you getting the point? If you say India is a nation, I'll ask you questions. If you say India is not a nation, then I'll tell you points. National festivals like we celebrate together. Fine. Anything more? We have some symbols which does everyone respect and accept it? Yes. We are forcing people to stand for national anthem. Where is the feeling? If it is nation, everyone should stand on their own as soon as it comes. I was seeing Independence Day, I was teaching, he made Sir will sing song, like national anthem. We all stood, we were singing, and that guy was roaming around taking pic. He wanted to promote. He was not interested in, he wanted to show that our institution is doing this. Sports unite us. Sports unite us. Disasters unite us. Some crimes unite us. Now, Kolkata rape case united people across. Sports unite. India, Pakistan, irrespective of things, who you are, doesn't matter. People keep shouting. They leave everything. India won World Cup. On that day, people were on streets. Why? Don't know. They were shouting, they were jumping. They left everything. Next day, exam is there. It's fine. Once in lifetime. Let's enjoy. So that is, you see, are you getting my point? You forget who you are. You forget your goal. You forget your thing. People come together and start celebrating that oneness. That is nation. Okay. So I was seeing one thing where movie released. Okay. In Delhi, fine. Delhi, Telugu movie released. I went, lot of people who come will be Telugu people only. All people came. Like, someone in between started shouting Jai Balaya. Like, everyone there, they also shouting Jai Balaya till the end, everyone were shouting. They were shouting, they were all civil service aspirants who want to become IAS. They forgot who they are. That moment, it was in that aspect which unites you, makes you to fight for the nation. Are you understanding? The point which unites you will make you fight for the nation. If you're watching a movie, Chak De movie was there. I don't know if you have heard or seen Chak De movie. Like, India, we know it's a movie. We know it's a movie. India will be fighting and all. And India won. In movie, India won. People were crying here. Like, they were so happy that India won. We know India will win. But you forgot the rationality. You forgot all other things. And that made you to unite. See, nation is breaking rationality. Logical thinking will be broken because you are emotionally connected. The moment you are emotionally connected, that makes you a nation. You don't understand who the person beside you are. Who he is, you don't know. You're hugging him. You are trying to say that we are one just because you speak same language. You speak same culture. You belong to same place. That feeling of oneness is extremely high. That is nation. Don't think nation is just a feeling, everyone is Telugu speaking. No. What is nation? Some girl, like, when I was doing my studies, like, one girl was crying in the class. I asked what happened. She told, in Afghanistan, due to bomb blast, like, a woman died. Who was pregnant woman, she died. And she was crying for that. I asked, why are you crying for this? She's a woman. I can understand the pain. That is nation. Feeling of oneness is very simple term. And for that nation, you are ready to die. For that feeling of nation, you are ready to sacrifice. That comes, someone in Canada is shot dead. He was fighting for Khalistan movement. He was shot dead. He's ready to give his life. Someone in Pakistan, he is going to, like, what do you call, France. He is blasting himself. Like, he's blasting himself to die for what he believes is a nation, religion. My people somewhere is getting affected. Palestinians, like, effect, Google, some employees tweeted something. Google said, you cannot do this. People left their jobs. And they told, for us, Palestine cause is very important. When you put that extra effort to show that feeling of oneness, that is nation. This is philosophy. This is philosophy. What I told you is just a practical statement. Feeling of oneness, done. It doesn't have territory, done. That's just practical. Philosophical is going to the depth and analyzing the meaning of every word. Nation is not a small word, guys. LTTE was formed. It killed Rajiv Gandhi. I'll give a very simple example. Communist nation. People who believe in same ideology. They are communist. Okay. China attacked India. Arunachal Pradesh is captured. Assam, half they have captured. Our soldiers were dying. We wanted to give blood. West Bengal is closer by. Right? We asked communists, like West Bengal people, go and give blood to our soldiers. Communists told, for us, communists are more important. China is a communist country. We support communist China rather than democratic India. They did not go to give blood. They supported China over India. That is where the problem of nation comes into picture. where your, like, what you call as uh, your integrity is not with this country, your integrity with something else. That integrity, if it comes in a person to belong to one group, that is integrity. Why are you dying for your country? A person in, like, what do you call as border. He is along Rajasthan border, hot 48 degrees Celsius. Why is he standing there? How much salary does he get? 35,000. For 35,000, do you really think he should stand there and fight? Can't he come out? Can't he earn something in India? Swiggy, Zomato guy will earn. Swiggy, Zomato guy will earn. Can't he stay here? Why is he standing there? Nation. Nation. That nation unites people. I'm telling you, writing essay is extremely difficult. Start working on that from now. Try to write something about it. I have given so many examples. Try to write 5 pages. Don't write 12 pages. Try to write 5 pages. Try to bring points out. You will get to know how to structure things. Things which you have heard, write on that. You will see a lot of variation in your understanding analysis. Fine. So, next, we use the terms like refugees, migrants, and internally displaced people. Refugees, migrants, and internally displaced people. Fine. So now, who are migrants? Guys, I'm not talking about internal migrants. That means I came from Bangalore, you came from different parts, you are staying here. That is internal migration. We are talking about from one country to another country. Fine. So migrants are the one who will move from one country to another country willingly. Own intentionally, you are going. Even if you are forced out, you might be forced out by your family members. Go study, don't be at home, right? Or you may be sent out by your society. Society told you, don't be with us, move out, right? Or it may be because your personal problem. Lot of migration in India happens because you're not getting married in your hometown. People know how idiot you are, like, so no one is suggesting marriage, so you're moving out. These are all what? Migration. Then, when you go from one country to another country without taking permission, illegal migrants, swimming across the river, going in the night, like, use boats to cross. They're all what? Illegal migrants. Legal migrants, illegal migrants. Many people, they will fit themselves inside, like, suitcases, huge suitcases. They fit themselves inside, they go into the check-in place, and then they go to other countries. 1 hour flight, 2 hour flights will be there. They put themselves in that and move. Illegal migrants. Children will be sent. Women trafficking will be sent. Human trafficking will be sent. All those will occur through that only. Right? That is called as what? Illegal migration. What is this? If by taking visa, if you go, that is called as what? Legal migration. Bangladeshi people can come to India for medical checkup and all by taking permission. That is called as what? Legal migration. You have Ajmer Dargah. Okay, Ajmer Dargah. You have Dargah in Delhi. Okay, these dargahs are very famous in entire South Asia. All Muslims like to visit at least once. So they plan to come to India for that. Then what they will be called as? Legal migrants. But illegally, if they come here and stay, then they will be illegal migrants. And who are refugees? Refugees are the people who are moving out because of the fear that they will be killed. Refugees are mostly because of what? Fear. If the aspect of fear comes into picture, then they will be called as what? Refugees. Refugees will go because of the fear of persecution. What is the fear of persecution? Like, let us say Tamils in Sri Lanka were scared that Sinhalese will kill them. Madhesis in Nepal were scared that Pahadis will kill them. Okay. Bengali Hindus were scared in Bangladesh that Muslims will kill them. Recently, you might have seen, there were attacks on Hindu temples and all. So what is it called? Fear on the basis of language, fear on the basis of culture, ethnicity, religion. Rohingya Muslims are being attacked by whom? Rohingya Buddhists. Then they will be called as what? Refugees. Refugee is a person who moved from one country to another country because of fear of persecution. Remember, I can send back illegal migrant to his hometown. Let's say someone came from Bangladesh, I caught him, I will send him back. But if someone come as a refugee today, if they entered into India because of the fear that they will be killed in Bangladesh, then I can't send them back. Then it's wrong. I can't send Rohingyas back to Myanmar. I can't send, some people of Afghanistan back to Afghanistan. Then it will become what? Wrong. Refugee cannot be sent back, but who can be sent back? Illegal migrants can be sent back. Do you understand? The two terms, illegal migrants and refugees. Fine. According to International Refugee Convention, if a country has signed Refugee Convention, you have to give them food, you have to give them shelter, you have to give them all the facilities. India is not a signatory to Refugee Convention. India told, I cannot provide all these facilities to my people. So for refugees, it would be difficult. But India will allow refugees to be present in India. Do you understand? Refugees can be present in India, but outsiders cannot be present in. Illegal migrants cannot be present in India. Fine? This is the basic difference. You write below. Heading is refugees, migrants, and internally displaced people. Hyphen. Below that, you write migrants. Migrants. Hyphen. These are the people who move from one country to another country, voluntarily. So they want to move out for economic purposes. Full stop. These migrants can be legal migrants, can be legal migrants or illegal migrants. Full stop. Legal migrants will take visa permissions, and enter into the country. Whereas illegal migrants will enter without permission. Full stop. Next paragraph. Illegal migrants can be sent back to their home country Next point. Refugees are the one who move from one country to another country because of the fear that they will be killed or persecuted on the basis of religion, language, culture, ethnicity, and also ideology. Next paragraph. Refugee cannot be sent back to the home country where they have fear of persecution. Next, there is international refugee convention, and according to this, if a country has signed refugee convention refugee convention, then they must provide all the basic necessities. All the basic necessities. Full stop. Even though India allows refugees to enter into India, comma, India has not signed the agreement because it will be economic burden for India. Economic burden for India. Next paragraph. Guys, you see, internally displaced people. Who are internally displaced people? See, let us say Kashmiri Pandits. Okay, Kashmiri Pandits. They were persecuted in India. That means in Jammu Kashmir, they were killed. They did not escape to another country. They tried to displace within India. They are present in different parts of India rather than staying in Kashmir. If they had gone to China, they would have been refugees. If they had gone to Pakistan, they are refugees. But they are displaced within India. So they are called as what? Internally displaced. Fine. So you write below, whenever people are displaced, within their home country, then they are internally displaced. Example, Kashmiri Pandits. This note you write below, note country refugee. Okay, Myanmar. From Myanmar, the refugees who come are Rohingyas. Right? Myanmar, Rohingya refugees. China, Tibetan refugees. Bangladesh, Chakma refugees. Nepal Madhesis. Bhutan Nepalese. Pakistan, Baluch people. Afghanistan, Hazara community. Hazara. Hazaras are Shias. Iran, Iraq, Syria, how people called Kurds. Kurds. Fine. Fine, yes. Tomorrow I'll do maritime boundary, airspace. We'll see.